I told my mom that she is dead to me. She called it decluttering. That's the word she used when I asked her why my dad's things were gone. Decluttering, like 14 boxes of a dead man's life were just stuff taking up space in her spare room. My dad passed 3 years ago. Heart attack, no warning, a Tuesday morning. I was 26 and I didn't know how to exist for about 6 months afterward. My dad and I had the kind of relationship where we didn't need to say much to understand each other. He had this old record collection, hundreds of vinyls he'd been building since he was a teenager, and a leather jacket he'd worn since before I was born that I used to sleep in as a kid when I was sick. He told me the year before he died that everything in that spare room was mine when the time came. Not in a will, just between us, the way we did things. My mom was in the kitchen when he said it. She heard him. I found out from my cousin Diane, who'd driven past a yard sale at my mom's house 2 Saturdays ago and recognized some of the records. She texted me a photo. I was at work when it came through and I had to go sit in my car for 20 minutes before I could go back inside. I drove to my mom's house that night. My Aunt Sylvia was there having dinner, which I hadn't known and didn't care about. I walked in and asked my mom what she'd sold. She got this careful look and said she'd needed to clear some space, that she was moving forward with her life, that holding on to things wasn't healthy. I asked her specifically about the records. She said she'd kept a few. I asked about the jacket. She looked at the table. I asked her again. She said it had gone with the rest. My Aunt Sylvia put her fork down slowly. I told my mom that Dad had specifically told her those things were mine. She said he'd never put it in writing and she needed to move on, and she hadn't thought I'd react like this. I asked her what she thought I'd do. She said she thought I'd understand that she was grieving too. I told her I'd been grieving for 3 years and somehow hadn't sold his belongings out of a front yard for $12 a piece. She said I was being cruel and that she was still his wife, and those were technically her things to do with as she chose. That word, technically. I looked at her for a long moment and thought about every compromise I'd made in 3 years to keep things smooth between us. Every time I'd bitten down on something that hurt because she was my mom and she'd lost her husband and I was trying to be understanding. I thought about the jacket and what it smelled like and the fact that it was gone permanently and irreversibly for a yard sale. I told her she was dead to me. Not loudly, not with tears, just clearly and directly so there was no way to mishear it or reframe it later. My Aunt Sylvia made a small sound. My mom's face went white and then crumpled and she said I didn't mean that. I told her I meant every word. She started crying and said she was my mother and I couldn't say that to her. I told her my dad had trusted her with something that mattered and she'd sold it for whatever 12 strangers handed her on a Saturday morning. Then I picked up my bag and left. My Aunt Sylvia called me the next day. She didn't defend my mom. She just asked if I was okay and I told her honestly I didn't know yet. My mom has called 4 times. I haven't picked up. My brother texted saying mom was in a bad way and I needed to call her, and I told him what she'd sold and he went quiet for a long time and then said he hadn't known. I told him now he did. The records are gone. The jacket is gone. I don't know whose closet it's in or if it got thrown away after the sale. I try not to think about that part. Now I'm stuck wondering if I'm the asshole.